Now we can tell you about the Section 194 committee looking into Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office. It has reaffirmed that the committee is sticking to its revised way forward. This comes as Mkhwebane now has the funds and access to an instructing attorney to brief her counsel. The suspended Public Protector was provided with written questions to respond to in accordance with the timetable of steps previously communicated to her. Last week, Advocate Mkhwebane missed 2 deadlines. She was due to notify the committee by Monday, the 19th of June, whether she would respond to questions in writing or orally. Athi Mtongana is standing by to give us more in terms of where we are in the process. Afternoon, Athi.
A very good afternoon to you, Dudu. I want to start off by reading a few lines from the suspended Public Protector's statement disputing that she had missed these deadlines. She says the alleged deadlines emanate from the illegally imposed new procedure, which was unilaterally introduced and imposed by the chairperson on the 9th of June 2023. And right at the bottom, as she concludes her statement, she says, in all these circumstances, it is mischievous to mislead the nation with a false narrative that she missed 2 deadlines, which emanate from a disputed procedure, a tainted chairperson, she says, and a biased committee. She says the only issue which must be urgently dealt with is the highly suspicious and the unfortunate death of the late Miss Jomat Peterson, who she says, as the Public Protector, was allegedly the messenger of Mr. Dyantyi and Miss Majodina in the sordid matter to solicit bribes of 200,000 each for them to manipulate the outcome of the Section 194 committee close quote. So I just wanted us to set the record straight as to where the Public Protector stands insofar as these deadlines and this matter in its entirety. But I'm joined by the chairperson of the Section 194 committee, Mr. Qubudile Dyantyi. You would have heard what the Public Protector is saying here. Do you want to respond to that before we begin?
That's a choice. She's electing to make that choice on the deadlines and the process that we have outlined. We're expecting her in 7 days' time, in a week's time, to respond to the questions that have been asked by members as well as evidence leaders. From the very beginning, she has always regarded this parliamentary process as illegal, unconstitutional, invalid. Various courts have not found in her favor. Various courts have confirmed the correctness, the fairness, the rationality of this process. So I'm not going to get into that. It's almost like becoming a sideshow.
It's interesting because even the the Secretary General of the ANC during the weekend ANC conference kept on emphasizing that this matter with regards to the allegations of bribery is something that they're looking at, that you even had to respond to the SG in writing. It seems to be a thorn within the committee.
It's not a thorn in the committee. The only person who keeps making this an issue is the Public Protector herself. And the onus is on her. She, together with her husband, have made allegations. The onus is on them to table the proof, and concrete proof, not hearsay, not defamatory gossip, to say this is the issue. Unless they do that, nothing else will really defocus us on the work that we're doing. Those institutions, whether it's ethics committee, if we're called upon, will respond to that, or any other institution. We're just not going to assist her to put an evidence when she does not have. She needs to come forward and say, here's the evidence. You can't just allege something and then somebody that you're alleging must be the one that proves that. She must prove it.
Now, let's move into the committee itself. The DA, the ANC, the FF+, the ACDP, I stand corrected, and the Good Party are the political parties in the committee that submitted the questions to the Public Protector, except for the ATM, the UDM and the EFF. And of course, those who have sent questions also includes the evidence leaders. Now that that process is done, where to from that process?
So the members as well as evidence leaders up to this point have adhered to our deadlines and the milestones that we have set. By Sunday we had received all questions from both of them, and on Monday the PEP had received all of those questions. We expect responses by next week, Wednesday the 6th of July. After that, all of those questions, responses will be collated, summation made, and we're going to be starting the very few next steps that will be outstanding as from next week, which is about drafting that report, having members deliberating on the issues, including the statements and every evidence that we have already in the committee. What she will give will be in addition to what she has sent to the committee, which is under oath as sworn affidavits. We have that already. So after that, we're going to produce a draft report transparently in the manner we operate as committees. And once we do that, we're going to give her another opportunity to say to her, here is our draft report as the committee, any comment you want to make before we table it to the National Assembly. Mm-hmm. She's going to get that opportunity again.
Mm-hmm. So does this mean that the committee won't sit and hear her provide oral responses to those questions? I think she also mentioned in her statement that other witnesses have given oral evidence, and she feels that it's unfair that she would be expected to respond on a written statement to those questions. For those who've been keeping abreast and watching on YouTube and on Newzroom, the committee sitting, is it going to sit? What should people really expect insofar as it's sitting and hearing some of the responses?
Firstly, what she refers as unfairness is self-inflicted by herself. She would have been given an opportunity to say by the 19th of June, we ask her to respond and indicate, is she choosing to do the responses orally or she wants to do them in writing? She chose to ignore and never even responded. So she chose not to do things oral. She can't come back now and complain that all witnesses, and in any case, in a matter like this, both oral and written have the same kind of effect. But we did give her an opportunity. She did not take up that opportunity. And I think that's why I'm saying it's self-inflicted. She must deal with that particular issue. So, and for us, we are on track in terms of our process. I'm very happy up to so far. And we're going to stay disciplined. We're not going to be distracted. Next week we'll be speaking to you and indicating to you this is the end of the deadline. Whether I've received this or not received anything. As I'm still waiting today, they keep threatening about the recusal application. Still waiting for that recusal application to come to the committee and myself as the chairperson. We've issued directives, new directives. This is after on the 2nd of June, 7th of June and 9th of June when the committee discussed this and the committee then firmed it up that this is how we're going to conclude this process. And I issued amended directives that then she is saying are kind of illegal, flawed. The committee has it is in its own right to develop and process matters because the National Assembly does that. It's a constitutional obligation and a constitutional mandate that nobody can tell us how we need to do that. So she must stop sideshows, and I'm calling her to focus now on answering those very comprehensive questions by members and evidence leaders.
All right, thank you so much for your time. The chairperson of the Section 194 Committee, Qubudile Dyantyi. We're hoping to speak to the Public Protector much later on so she can put her side of the story to this developing issue, because at the end of the day, the chairperson and the committee, they want to conclude this matter by July so they can table that report before the National Assembly. Of course, we know political parties in the committee like the EFF, the UDM and the ATM are those that did not send those questions because they might be of a different view to that of the chairperson and the rest of the members of the Section 194 committee. But we'll certainly have them to keep an eye on this story because really they are pushing to finish and send that report to the National Assembly.
Indeed, Athi. In fact, we spoke to the UDM a little bit earlier on, and they indicated that they believe this process is flawed and unfair. We're looking forward to hearing from the Public Protector. Thank you very much, Athi Mtongana, for that report.